And now, Knock 2 Studios presents Common Censored.
What's up, everybody, and welcome back to Common Censored. It's Friday, and this is episode 117. Terror in Moscow. Candace Owens fired from the Daily Wire, the Gaily Wire, I should say. Boom, zing, Ben Shapiro, you little fucker. RONNA, Romney joins the dark side. And we've got a new definition for the word poser, plus lots of other stuff. What's up, everybody? Thanks for being here today. 19 people on YouTube and X, 26 people on Rumble. Thanks for joining us. I see Flustercluck 99, Cowgirl, That Old Sheepdog, Red Crypto, Crazy Bee, Sam Duty, JJ Von Pepe, Mama Mac. Thanks for being here, everybody. We broadcast Monday through Friday at 6:30-ish p.m. Eastern Time. Thanks for being here. We make sure to follow us on X at _Common Censored and use hashtag Common Censored when you share the broadcast. You can also find Truckfit Dre over on X at Truckfit LLC. That's TRUKFYT LLC. And you can find me at Mortis _Knock2. Disclaimer. Views expressed on Common Censored are only opinions. Assume everything we say is false and research for yourself. We are not giving medical, legal, or financial advice. The only advice we are giving is think for yourself. Question authority. Think for yourself. Question authority. All right, let's start off with Threepers. Quote of the day. Shout out to Threeper, our resident 3%er. Some things must be done on faith, but the most dangerous kind of faith is that which masquerades as science. Thomas Sowell. Shouldn't say Ayn Rand there today. Let me delete that real quick for you guys. But hey, this is a pretty relevant quote considering everything that's been going on in the past few years. Just trust the science. Trust the science. If you question Fauci, you're questioning the science. And that is a dangerous kind of faith to have, just blindly trusting the experts, the appeal to authority, logical fallacy. Real science is one thing, but just trusting experts, when they make claims of science, is a totally different thing and completely crazy. We'll get to our new definition for the word poser shortly. But first, let's jump into some news. We have a fun story with the Castellos. The Castellos, let's see, I'm not sure exactly. We'll see how they pronounce it. Who have been nominated for a CMT award. I don't know what that is, but they definitely deserve it. Check this out.
Hey y'all, it's the Castellos. We are here in Oxford, Ohio, sitting in the van, and we're about to play a show at Brick Street.
We found out this morning that we got nominated for our first CMT award ever for Digital First Performance of the Year for our song I Know It'll Never End that we did on CMT a couple months ago. CMT, thank you so much.
Thank you,
Thank
CMT.
y'all, and y'all can vote every day, so y'all be sure to go and vote, and we thank y'all so much.
Thank y'all.
Go vote every day. Hey y'all.
Boom, the Castellos making moves, getting nominated for awards. Let's check out a couple seconds of them playing so you know who they are.
I want a cowboy kind of love, a cowboy kind of love, like wild horses
Country music. That's CMA's, Mandy J. Lawson. This is CMT. Is that the same thing? I don't know. Maybe it is. So these are quite the talented trio of lovely young ladies doing their thing over there, wishing them luck in winning the CMT award. And just to address the rumors, I am not their secret Fed handler, and they are not out on the road touring, performing hits for me. It's not happening. And by hits, I don't mean musical hits. They're not out there performing hits for me, to just address the rumors. Let's move on to our next story. Speaking of a poser, which we'll get to shortly. Breaking, another Republican lawmaker exits. Rhino Rep Mike Gallagher will retire early, leaving the GOP with a 1-vote majority. The fix is in, guys. They are setting us up to lose our majority and put a Democrat in as the House Speaker. That's where this seems to be trending towards. It is a trap. Look at these rats fleeing the sinking ship before Trump takes over so they can try to change House leadership and do something with it. There's got to be some end goal in mind that they're planning on achieving, but all I know is that this is a trap. It's a trap! These fuckers are openly sabotaging the Republican Party at this point. Rhino Mike Gallagher will exit the House as early as next month. This is Christina Layla writing over here at the Gateway Pundit. Gallagher, who is currently serving as the chairman of the Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party. Oh, great. A rhino in a place that has extreme importance, dealing with the CCP. Perfect. That's exactly where he should be. Probably aiding in the Chinese penetration of our government. Like, remember what Klaus Schwab said? Was it Klaus Schwab? No, yeah, Klaus Schwab. I get him and Soros mixed up sometimes. We penetrate the cabinets. Like Eric Swallowswell penetrates the Chinese spies in return. This is ridiculous. Instead of serving out the rest of his term, Gallagher will retire early, leaving the GOP with a 1-vote majority. Quote, Wisconsin law dictates that Gallagher's seat in a solidly red district will stay empty for the rest of his term. Departing before April 9 would have triggered a special election. So he's waiting until after April 9 just to penetrate us, to fuck us. This guy is a piece of monkey crap. Oh, man. Politico reported Speaker Mike Johnson is about to drop to a 1-vote majority as retiring Rep. Mike Gallagher has decided he will exit the House as soon as next month, according to people with knowledge of the matter. In a statement shortly after this story published, Gallagher said he planned to leave April 19th. Why don't you just leave April 8th, bro? You specifically have to leave after April 9th so that we can't replace you with somebody. This is open corruption. These people know exactly what they're doing. That's right, Mandy Bobandy. Hakeem Jeffries will end up the speaker for fuck's sake. Completely ridiculous. Completely asinine. These fucking bastards leading us to disaster. Quote, I've worked closely with House Republican leadership on this timeline and look forward to seeing Mike Johnson appoint a new chair to carry out the important mission of the Select Committee on the Chinese Communist Party. Okay, so it's a conspiracy with House Republican leadership to plan the timeline so that he leaves after the deadline for replacing him with a special election. Good to know. Time to swap out Mike Johnson as well, apparently. Long overdue. Where is all the J6 footage, Mike Johnson? In an interview with Milwaukee Journal Sentinel last month, Gallagher expressed a desire to accomplish more outside the House of Representatives. I really just feel like I've accomplished much more than I ever thought I could when I set out, and I firmly don't believe that the best use for the next chapter of my career is staying in Congress for another decade. What's it going to move to, like some defense contractor or something like that, or maybe a news organization, as we'll see with the former resident Romney, the Democrat infiltrator, infiltrator who had been posing as the RNC chair, through probably a rigged election in that process, putting her in. Hint for the definition of poser. So ridiculous. Even though my title may change, my job may change, my mission is always going to remain the same, he said. My mission is to prevent World War III. Oh, so maybe he will be going into a defense contractor. I've dedicated myself to restoring conventional deterrence in order to prevent a war with China. And so whatever I do next will be an extension of that mission. Conventional deterrence, aka peace through strength. In other words, he's going to be working on weapons development or something. Oh, man. I think that the institution is healthier when people serve for a period of time and then go home. Yeah, it's supposed to be that. You move to D.C., you do your work, and then you leave. That's why D.C. is not a state, etc. You're supposed to go, serve, lose money effectively because you're working for a cause, and then leave. But you're not supposed to leave before your fucking term is up. Son of a bastard. Recall that Gallagher voted against impeding DHS Chief Alejandro Mayorkas. So his whole agenda, while he's there, is to screw us and screwing us by leaving as well. Earlier this month, Rhino Ken Buck, in a surprise announcement, said he is retiring from Congress in mid-March. Following the resignation of Kevin McCarthy, Bill Johnson, Ken Buck, Mike Gallagher, and the ousting of George Santos, the Republicans are now left with a 1-vote majority. They're going to do some crazy shit. They're going to put Hakeem Jeffries in there, and they're going to pull some kind of crazy shit. They're going to do something extreme. And it's going to come across as, the House, the Senate, and the presidency all working in unison with a bunch of Rhino support. So it'll be bipartisan, whatever they're doing. Blue Rose, what's up? Thanks for joining us. This is sabotage. Total sabotage. Let's jump into our word of the day. We've got a what you think you've heard the word before, and you have, but the left is always changing the definitions of things, so now it's our turn. We are changing the definition of poser. That's right. You know what a poser is. Somebody who's pretending to be something that they're not. But in our case, it's elected officials pretending to be elected official. Poser. Noun. Part acronym, part conjunction. A possibly elected representative. Poser. Possibly elected representative who most likely sits in office due to a stolen election. This new noun for referring to our possibly elected representatives includes people in the White House, Congress, and state governments around the country. You know, those kind of candidates who were losing when we went to sleep on election night, only to have won when we woke up. Typically affiliated with sketchy voting machines and or mail-in ballots, most often in blue and swing states. Poser for those possibly elected representatives we all know and loathe. Just combine the words possibly elected representatives into poser. It's fitting, too, considering they're effectively posing as officials. And of course, we also see how much they love to pose for the cameras. Like AOC with her photo ops, crying in front of the fence and down at the border where where there's no kids in cages like she was claiming, right? They pose as being big and important, but we know better. Example, Katie Hobgoblin. You poser. There's no way you actually got enough votes to be elected over Kari Lake. We know you're a thieving poser governor. Possibly elected representatives. Posers. Now, after 2020, poser was certainly applicable to many people in various states and in DC, but since the 2020 or 2022 stolen midterms, poser likely applies to dozens of representatives around the country, if not hundreds. So have fun using the plural form. Example, we know you posers are illegitimate, trash bag, election thieving scum. Plus, poser is inclusive. Everybody knows there's tons of shitbag lefties posing as officials after stolen elections, but I guarantee you there are plenty of poser rhinos too, and establishment Republicans who steal elections in red areas from the more underground, hardcore libertarian-style Republicans who would otherwise do a better job in those red districts. So, hit these hosers with hashtag posers and do your part in mocking and shaming these criminal gangsters, both online and in public, with the new definition of poser. And thank you for mocking these morons into oblivion. That's right, JJ Von Pepe. Katie Cuntwaffle Hobgoblin. And as we know, there's no cure
for being a cunt.
For being a cunt. Thank you all for joining us today. Got 29 people over on Rumble, and we've hit 57 views potentially on X. So thank you for that. Make sure to smash that like button and use hashtag CommonCensored or hashtag poser with a small s when you're sharing our new definition of the word posers. Hit these hosers with hashtag poser. So let's jump into our next story of the day, which is not very surprising. Actually, we had it predicted yesterday. Let me see if I can start off with the prediction before we get to the actual story. Maybe I don't have it. Not sure where it is. But yesterday, Valuetainment. Let's see. We'll jump over to YouTube and grab it. Oh, there it was. It was right there. She wants to leave. Yesterday, Dave Rubin was over on the PBD podcast predicting that Candace Owens leaves the Daily Wire over the Ben Shapiro feud.
Interview Candace did recently with
Rabbi?
the rabbi. I think which rabbi?
I know
You have
she
a clip
said
of it.
two rabbis.
There's
on that.
Rabbi
Yeah, I'm talking
Shmuley
about-
Botek,
no,
and
it
then there's
wasn't
Rabbi
Shmuley.
Barkley.
No,
This is
Barkley.
Rabbi
It was
Barkley.
Barkley. Can you play
Not
this
Charles
clip?
Barkley, but
Can you
this-
play the? Go ahead and play this clip, Rob.
Just so the reference, the backstory is that this rabbi is accusing Candace Owens of calling
is
Rabbi
total
Shmuley
clownery.
Boteach's daughter a hag.
Rabbi Shmuley. What's up with that name, bro?
So that's
saying.
the setup.
Right.
Uh-huh.
A hag, which, okay.
Ooh, am I
How dare you
anti-Semitic
go
for
into the
making fun of
misogynistic,
Shmuley?
excuse me, the anti-Semitic trope of his hag
This
daughter.
guy's just spitting talking points so hard he can't keep them separated from one another. He jumped into misogynistic instead of saying anti-Semitic, which is hilarious. And Mandy J. Lawson, thank you. Kick the shit out of that like button. Beat it like a redheaded stepchild. Oh no, he's anti-ginger too. Shmuley. Come on, give me a break. What kind of name is Shmuley? Let's continue over here. I'll rewind a
You
second.
go into the misogynistic, excuse me, the anti-Semitic trope of his hag daughter, something used throughout the late 18th and early through the early 20th century.
Sorry. Hag is now anti-Semitic?
that is a term of his hag daughter that goes back into the witches of Eastern Europe. Why did you have to call her a hag daughter?
Just
Tell
to
me
be
that.
clear,
Because she's a fucking hag witch. And just because somebody did something hundreds of years ago doesn't mean that people nowadays have racist intent if they do the same thing, like Hitler drank water. And oh my, what do I have here? A glass of water. If I drink water, am I anti-Semitic? Because Hitler did it? Just because there's a crossover and somebody is like a hag, and somebody's, oh my God, hundreds of years ago, people were calling people hags and it's anti-Semitic. No, that's just bad logic. You're just trying to divert with the typical 1940 communist playbook tactic of deflecting from arguments by leveling ad hominem attacks, calling people isms and phobics, etc. That G. Edward Griffin video we played so many times from the 60s, where he was reading from the 1940s American Communist Party playbook. Let's continue here for a second.
because she's a witch.
That's Candace straight up says that.
Daughter, a hag daughter.
Just
Tell
to
me
be-
that. The witches of
Why did you have to call her a hag?
Eastern
She's a
Europe.
fucking hag,
Why
bro.
did you have to call her a hag daughter?
Just
Tell
to
me
be
that.
clear, because she's a witch. I think she's a witch.
Yes.
That's not because she's
Candace.
a witch. I would call someone a hag.
Anytime you criticize somebody who happens to be Jewish, oh, you're anti-Semitic. Just like anytime you criticize somebody that happens to be black, oh, you're racist. If they're in a position of power, if they're doing a bad job, it's not because of these immutable characteristics. It's because they're fucking doing a bad job. And they use the same tactic to shut you down constantly. Don't let them do it. Double down. Refuse to submit to these people who are, it's completely maddening.
Any color. I think she's a witch. What they have done over the last 2 years, I believe his daughter is a hag. I said that because that's what I believe. You may disagree with me on that, but to say that that's anti-Semitic is ridiculous. I would call any person a hag.
Candace?
Well, here's my thing. And I watched this.
So obviously this has been brewing for a while at this point. Shitbag Ben Shapiro, Rhino, little war hawk who's never seen a war that he didn't want a piece of, that he didn't want American taxpayer dollars funding and financing against our will. It's total clown show. If you look at the thumbnail from today, I put him on there with little devil horns creeping out behind Candace, like grinning as she has allegedly been fired from the Gaily Wire, as we'll call them. TMZ over here is actually saying she was fired from Gaily Wire over alleged anti-Semitism. Ooh. They've been looking for an excuse to get rid of Candace forever, at least since October 7th. Candace Owens was fired from her hosting job at the Daily Wire because her bosses were fed up with what they viewed as her repeated promotion of anti-Semitism. TMZ. Hilarious. At least they're not saying straight up that she was anti-Semitic. They have written as what Daily Wire viewed as her repeated promotion of anti-Semitism. A conservative media company announced Friday morning that it was parting ways with Candace. And while no official reason was mentioned, sources with direct knowledge tell us it was squarely over what the Daily Wire honchos saw as anti-Semitism. And the firing went down early this week. So there's been a lot of speculation about this whole situation ever since Crowder came out last year, like just over a year ago now, a year and a few months, with the whole information about the Daily Wire contracts and how the Daily Wire is stuck in this old paradigm of contract writing, like the shitbag music industries who would hire musicians and then only give them 3% of their profits from album sales. Unique Prepping, what's up? Good to see you, man. Thanks for joining us. So basically, Daily Wire is doing the same thing, giving people terrible terms in their contracts, making them wage slaves, to quote Jeremy Boring, for a few years until they can reorganize their contracts theoretically, or use Daily Wire as a stepping stone. But they get people in with wage slave labor, basically, so they can pump them and jack all the profits from them. Just like the music industry used to did, which is, I was studying music business at Berklee College of Music, and the more I learned about the music business, the more I hated it. And I was like, I'm not going to be a part of this bullshit. This is ridiculous. So I didn't want to be taking advantage of people like that. So Crowder was promoting the idea of, let's use good contracts where we both make a profit and where it's mutually beneficial and somebody's not being taken advantage of like a slave, basically. This is something we can all choose to do as private business, owners and participators. We can choose to give people good contracts that benefit everybody. And there was speculation at the time with CANDACE, who had recently signed, that she got a bad contract because she was pretty vitriolic in her reaction at the time. So people were speculating, ooh, it seems like she may not have gotten the best contract herself. And so she may have been pushing buttons, potentially trying to get fired. They also have obviously not been reacting well to her refusal to just slob the Zionist knob, basically, like Ben Shapiro, Daily Wire. Take Netanyahu's dick out of your mouth, Ben, so we can understand what you're saying when you're talking so quickly like this. It's got to be painful for Netanyahu as well, with those gnashing little teeth. But goddamn. So remember, we saw Ben stand in front of a crowd, all sauced up, potentially talking shit about CANDACE while they were having their beef initially in the couple weeks after 10/7, etc. But let's check out what Patty McMurray is writing over here at Gateway Pundit. She kind of goes through a timeline. Candace Owens confirms she's no longer working for Trump-hating Ben Shapiro's Daily Wire. That's right. Back in the day, Ben Shapiro was at Breitbart, and after Andrew Breitbart was killed, in my opinion, taken out before he could drop big bombshell news that he was promoting, there was a fracture inside of Breitbart, and the various Never Trumpers kind of left and participated in forming the Daily Wire. So right off the bat, Shapiro was a Never Trumper, later claiming, I'd crawl through broken glass to vote for Donald Trump, but only when it's politically expedient. He's one of these guys that poses, not a possibly elected representative, but he poses as a conservative or as a Republican when he's more like a Bushite type dude who was pro-Iraq war in the start. He's pro, every war. Pro every war. I mean, dude is a total dirtbag. But he sleeps on a bed of money. So I'm sure that has nothing to do with what his positions are. Alex Jones warned against Ben Shapiro since the start, that he was basically an infiltrator, war hawk, scumbag, and we've really seen it come out lately as he's just been obsessed with the whole Israel situation. Then move to Israel, bro. If you're so obsessed with Israel and you want to send all our money over there and you care more about the Israel stuff than anything here, then go to Israel. And these clowns, some of these clowns over on PBD over here, they're like, oh, they're attacking Ben Shapiro personally. Tucker attacking him, saying he's not America first. He's fucking Israel first, dude. Let's just be honest about it. Look at that. Here's Ben Shapiro back in 2016. I will never vote for Donald Trump. Here's why. I will never vote for Donald Trump, ever. I will never vote for Donald Trump because I stand with certain principles. I stand with small government and free markets and religious freedom and personal responsibility. All bullshit. This was 2016, just months before the general election. last week, in one of the most confusing statements by Ben Shapiro to date, he admitted he was previously supporting Governor Ron DeSantis. Governor Ron DeSantis.
Oh, I'm Ron DeSantis. I'm fucking gay.
Makes sense. Gaily Wire, right? Supporting Ron DeSantis over President Trump. Then he went on to explain a long list of Trump's incredible accomplishments and said he'd walk over broken glass to support him. Shapiro then explained that he would be making a donation to Trump's campaign, although he fails to mention how much. So he's all over the place, this dude. Part of the Daily Wire's success, Patty McMurray continues, was bringing popular hosts like conservative commentators Matt Walsh and Candace Owens. Matt Walsh for me is like hit or miss. Either he's spot on or he's way off. Way off. Damn, that guy's got a thick beard also. The outspoken Owens and Shapiro have had their share of public spats. Recently, as November 2023, they publicly argued over a remark made by Candace Owens about warmonger Nikki Haley, whom Owens said she would like to, quote, endorse as president of Israel. Remember that? That was hilarious. Because Ben Shapiro was all hard, metaphorically, probably literally, about, Nikki Haley. Owens said that Nikki Haley, had earned her support in what appeared to be a tongue-in-cheek comment. Owens saying, if you're paying attention to the pro-Hamas Palestine protests and the fake news media, support for Israel has literally collapsed. Candace Owens said, with enough money from foreign interest lobbyists, she believes the former South Carolina governor would be the logical choice for getting it back, Israel. So Vincent James over here speculating at the time, looks like Ben Shapiro is about to fire Candace Owens. So ever since this, they've just been looking for a reason to get rid of her. And now we got Rabbi Shmuley saying, oh, you said hag, you're anti-Semitic. Brr. Perfect opportunity. Kind of like JJ Pepe. Flaccid Shapiro. I like that nickname. That should stick. That should stick. Never humper. Oh, man. Hilarious. Hilarious. Send them all to an island. I like that, cowgirl. Send them all. Not Jews. Rhinos, warhawks, infiltrators, scumbags. There's plenty of good Jews. We're not anti-Semitic. This isn't about Jews. There's a Jewish mafia, but that doesn't mean all Jews are bad, just like it didn't mean all Italians were bad. All Italians, when the mob was running New York and Florida and shit. Same thing applies, but if you even talk about the Jewish mafia, oh, you are anti-Semitic. Deflect, divert, obfuscate, and then they've convinced the regular old good normal people, regular Jews, to scream anti-Semitism, providing cover for the actual Jewish mafia that's doing crazy shit, dominating, entertainment markets, banking markets, etc., which is undeniable, basically. So we gotta just speak the truth, whatever it happens to be. In an interview with Jewish comedian Amy Kozak, Daily Wire's Candace Owens compared the treatment of innocent Jewish students on college campuses to the persecution of white students on campuses across America for years by Marxist BLM radicals. Owens explained that for years, white students have been forced to endure threats by BLM activists, as well as insults and false accusations by leftist professors for the crime of being white. As she pointed out that corporations never threatened to pull their funding over the treatment of white students by the radical left over in the persecution of the white students. And remember all the chaos, just saying it's okay to be white, putting little papers up on up places in colleges that say it's okay to be white. Everybody freaked out about that. Yeah, watch out for the Sicilians and their horse heads, JJ Von Pepper. Exactly. Exactly. Near the end of the discussion, the outspoken Owens was also condemned Jews who were silent on the persecution of Jews while defending Palestinians in the conflict spurred by the horrific terror attack by Hamas that has led to the death of thousands and the torturing and kidnapping of hundreds more. And who knows how many people are dead in Palestine.
There are a lot of people in America that are sitting here going, okay, well, can you answer why Jews are so special? Because as white people in this country on university campuses, we are being taught that we are not allowed to have a voice. We have had to endure exactly what you're talking about, BLM. We've endured much worse than you have because it's in the actual textbooks. We are being told that we are systematically racist, that we are born wrong because of the color of our skin. And if we say anything, we'll lose everything.
Yep,
This is the typical experience on white campuses. So people, this is not whataboutism. This is like actually what we have been fighting for years.
Yep, she's 100% spot on. Seems like we're having some connectivity issues with X, so we'll encourage you to hit up the description after the show. If you're new here, we post links to all of the content, videos, articles, etc. that we discuss throughout the broadcast at the end of the show. So links will be in the description down below afterwards. I also post them in the comments on X underneath our videos. I pin the broadcast every day up to the top of our page on X at _common censored. Boom, just pinned it right now. So click the link in the description after the show if you want to check out any of these videos in full. In response to her comments with that, comedian Ben Shapiro painted her as uneducated. Remember this clip here of him?
Yes,
this is what I was talking about before.
I think her behavior during this has been disgraceful. Without a doubt.
Oh, she's disgraceful. How about you're disgraceful, Ben, for supporting the Iraq War, for supporting all this bullshit, for supporting indiscriminate murder of innocent civilians, for ideology. They may back Hamas, philosophically or whatever, but until they physically take action as individuals, you can't just go around bombing indiscriminately civilians, bro. So you're a maniac for supporting that.
And she still works for my company. And I think she's been absolutely disgraceful. I think that her faux sophistication on these particular issues has been ridiculous. It's not faux sophistication, it's ridiculous. Everybody can see the moves that she's making and the things that she's saying, and I find it disreputable.
Loser, clown. The most recent controversy involving CANDACE is centered around the, quote, hateful remarks made, these are pretty hateful, made by Rabbi Michael Barclay about her that he wrote in a vile article published by PJ Media. In the article, Candace Owens bravely invited the rabbi on her show to discuss the controversy and the anti-Semitic accusations he's made about her. We watched some of this interview with this clown over here just deflect, divert. Oh, hag is anti-Semitic. Everything's anti-Semitic. Oh, no. Clown. Following his appearance on her show, Rabbi Michael Barclay thanked Owens for inviting him to speak with her on the show and said, quote, "It's sad that you believe that I am, quote, ignorant or a monster, unquote, and that you didn't take any responsibility for your words that prompt such Jew hatred. But I am hopeful you will see the IDF October 7th film." You're so pissed off about October 7th, why don't you take it up with Bibi, okay? There was a 7-hour stand down of the Iron Dome and no response for 7 hours. They could have intercepted fucking dudes on flying lawnmowers. Are you kidding me? You kidding me? There was no response. Night Red Crypto, thanks for being here. Pal, get some rest. Yeah, super insane. So he's not saying that she is actually hating Jews herself, but her words are prompting Jew hatred. That's like blaming libs of TikTok for somebody attacking a school just because libs of TikTok pointed out that there's tranny weirdos grooming kids in the school. It's not logical. These people know what they're doing. They're criminals. or at least trash. These people are jerks. They're jerks. Owens responded to this clown rabbi saying, "Rabbi, you are always welcome back on the show. Thank you for allowing me to clear my name by giving people a glimpse into what you believe warranted the piece you wrote about me. I was hopeful you were ignorant when you wrote some of those lies. Unfortunately, you were not. As you noted, you didn't even watch my show, but wrote a piece about it declaring what you believed I said to be anti-Semitic. Yeah. Intent matters. Something's not racist if there's no racist intent, like the microaggressions and all these things that people are claiming, oh, it's racist. Wearing blackface is racist. When a girl dresses up like Michonne from The Walking Dead, no. If she's emulating a character that she enjoys and admires out of respect and wanting to be like that person, it's not racism, okay? Racism would be like, oh, these people are bad and evil because of their skin color. I'm going to mock them because of it, which is illogical and insane because people are individuals. Emulating something you admire is not racism. She goes on here, to clarify, I do not think you are a monster. I think you truly believe your race, religion, and feelings are superior to others, and that you truly feel victimized when others do not hold that same viewpoint. Interesting stuff. Really interesting. Jewish supremacy. Even the idea of Aryan supremacy. If you look back through the history, it's possible that the ancient Jews were Aryans, and it's a form of of Jewish supremacy when you dig really deep. So that's pretty wild stuff. Candace truly believes that this rabbi thinks his race, religion, and feelings are superior. Not surprising. Sorry, I had to wrangle the tweet. It's flying all over the place. Crazy. Sam Duty. Sam wants to be black. I was Michael Jordan for Christmas when I was like, 4. Black bathing cap to make it look like I was bald, probably all painted up. Was I racist? No, I loved Michael Jordan, who's the freaking man who I have a poster of literally right up there. Vintage 90s poster where he's flying through the sky, holding up the ball as he's dunking. I'm dunking. And another poster of him over there. And another poster of him over there. I'm not racist because I dressed up like Michael Jordan when I was 4. These people are crazy, man. People are crazy. That's right, cowgirl. Go ahead and identify as black. Like, what's that Rachel Dolezal? Right? She black. I want to be a dinosaur, says Sheepdog. It's like that clip from South Park. Didn't I play that a few weeks ago where Stan's dad, speaking of Jews, right, identified as a dolphin and got the dolphinoplasty, and Stan got the negroplasty so he could be black. And they used his testicles for some reason in the reconstruction of his knees, and he jumped up and did a slam dunk and landed on the ground, and his knees, his testicles exploded, severing the lower halves of his legs. Wow, we're on a really crazy tangent right here. Candace continues, I do not hold that same viewpoint. Innocent Muslim blood spilled is equally as devastating as innocent Jewish or Christian blood spilled. For that, quote, radical position, I've been smeared rather incessantly since October 7th, but I intend to hold the line on this one. Good for you, Candace. It is my wish, that every person in the world watches our exchange, and I hope you felt I treated you fairly. As I said, you are always welcome back, and thank you very much for being so willing to join and discuss your feelings about things. Yeah, he basically just exposed what a lunatic, illogical, slandering liar he is, allegedly. Conversation takes courage, she finishes. Hilarious. Rabbi Barclay tweeted at Owens, and Candace, all blood is equally red, but not all intentions are the same. Yeah, like she didn't intend to be anti-Semitic when she said hag. So maybe you should take that into account. Evil has gradations. But let's discuss your feelings about that statement after you see the footage. Please let me know some dates and times that work for you. Evil has gradations. Well, how about the evil of bombing entire neighborhoods of innocent people? What's the gradation on that? In response to his tweet, Owens shot back at Rabbi Barclay with a challenge. Not only will I watch the film, but I'd like you to arrange a trip for me to visit Israel. And I'd like to visit and live stream in Israel and Gaza. And Gaza, she put extra emphasis on that. I'd be keen to meet and speak with Netanyahu, IDF soldiers, plus citizens that are Jews, Christians, Muslims, and Ethiopian. I would love to see Candace Owens sit down with Bibi Netanyahu and shred that hoser who set up his own country, in my opinion, on October 7th to provide a pretext to attack Palestine. They want that nice beachfront property, just like in Maui, man. Jewish space lasers. Oh, man. Sorry, I couldn't resist. Just popped into my mind. Oh, man. Super crazy. JJ Von Pepe. My blood is green. I identify as a Vulcan. The Vulcan death grip. I've never actually watched Star Trek. That's a knock against my nerd card right there. But I've seen every episode of Stargate. Let's see. She continues. I'd like to take 6 journalists / commentators of my choosing that I believe have earned the trust of the American people, and I will crowdfund the entire thing so that it will cost nothing, and I will be beholden to no one but the truth. Yes, that's why we like Trump, because he's beholden to no one. He can fund himself. Same thing with Vivek. He can fund himself. Can you use your contacts to make that happen? Hashtag Candace to Israel. She's fucking great. I don't always agree with her, and there have been times when she's really pissed me off. Although I do think she's quite beautiful as well. I was a little bit jelly of her husband for a while, but she's in and out of my good graces with some of the shit she says and does. Her attitude irks me kind of sometimes. But man, we want to talk about a strong, empowered female. She's like an archetype of that for sure. Owens thanked PJ Media after they retracted the article they published accusing Candace Owens of being anti-Semitic that Rabbi Mark, why can I not say this dude's name? Rabbi Michael Barclay wrote. It's a little bit early for me to be having episodes of dyslexia. But we'll roll with it. We will roll with it. Good shit. They retracted the article, the horribly libelous piece. Good. I like how she phrased that. Candace never even had to contact them. Continuing, she says, this is a major win, and I'm grateful to the editors for taking such a drastic step following my sit down with the rabbi. AKA, you lost, Rabbi. You were exposed. Sunlight is indeed the best disinfectant, Candace. So Ben Shapiro's probably in the background snickering somewhere. Like a hag. Stirring some pot of magical ingredients somewhere. We'll roll with it. We'll roll with the hag metaphor. Oh, man. Couldn't resist. Couldn't resist. Candace Owens, grateful to everyone who watched and shared this interview. Let's retweet this, repost this, give Candace a boost. Not like she needs it from little old me. You guys can help me grow by sharing this broadcast out on X. Hit that repost button. Use hashtag Common Censors. Call out your possibly elected representatives with the hashtag POSER. Let's move on to our next story. We've got a horrible situation unfolding in Mother Russia, sadly, with a terror attack in Moscow. And we'll get into shortly how this was actually predicted by Jack Posobiec on Alex's show recently.
Hey guys, it's Benny. Breaking news. There is a massive terrorist attack happening right now in Moscow, Russia. Of course, the capital of Russia.
That's right, Ron PM3.
Concert hall has been invaded
at least at one point.
5 gunmen wearing camouflage that ruthlessly murdered hundreds of people and have now set the thing on fire. This is a massive concert hall inside of Moscow. This is called the Crocus Concert Hall, and it is burning
is a cool word.
To the ground, what it looks like, along with the hundreds and hundreds of people that were inside after a vicious and monstrous terrorist attack that just occurred in Moscow. Possibly the largest terrorist attack in Russian history by a domestic force, or
sorry, Fluster Clark, if I went a little long on that.
We have no idea. We're not sure who the attackers were, who they were aligned with. We know they were in camouflage, and we know that they were operating in a militant efficiency. And videos we can't show you here are just unbelievably gruesome. Cold-blooded murderers, these guys, walking up and just murdering inside of this very, very crowded concert hall, and now presumably setting it entirely ablaze. Moscow Concert Hall shooting. At least 3 gunmen in camouflage opened fire on crowd. Huge, massive venue engulfed in flames, and many deaths reported. At least 15 dead, 50 wounded. I've seen estimations all over the place, but this will have massive, massive repercussions, ladies and gentlemen, depending on who these militants are.
We have Ukrainian intelligence blaming Hitler Putin already. Yeah, because Hitler Putin wants this conflict so bad, he's going to use a false flag attack to trigger an escalation. He's been trying to stay out of this as much as possible, seeking, to join the West ever since the Soviet Union fell, as we saw in Putin's interview with Tucker, that after the Soviet Union fell, they tried to integrate with the West, and that the scumbag American president, infiltrator posers, basically shut him down and have kept them at a distance and encroached with NATO ever since. So we have over here, update: Ukrainian intelligence blames Putin's special forces, I don't know why I'm saying Putin, for organizing Crocus City Hall terrorist attack outside Moscow. It's a little bit different when Operation Himmler under Hitler burned the Reichstag to the ground, or with Operation, I don't know what operation it was, maybe continuation of Operation Himmler with the Gleiwitz incident, where they dressed up Jews as Polish soldiers and claimed that dead Jews as Polish soldiers, and claimed that Polish had attacked and used it as a pretext to invade Poland, beginning the main part of World War II. As reported by Paul Sarin, I think there's supposed to be two R's there. Jim Hoft writing this. Paul's boss. You should. Terrorists attacked a major music venue located in Krasnogorsk, a city in the northwest of the Moscow region, on Friday afternoon. This comes just days after the American embassy in Russia warned citizens of imminent attacks in mass events. Remember that? Sputnik reported at least 3 people in camouflage burst into the ground floor of the Crocus City Hall, opened fire with automatic weapons, getting Harrison Kleinbold vibes from this image over here. Special Rapid Response Unit, SOBR, and Special Purpose Mobile Unit, OMON, as well as firefighters rushed to the scene of the incident. We've got all kinds of videos here, at least that one. I don't know if you want me to play it or not. We'll hold off for now. But interestingly, ISIS is coming out and taking credit for it. ISIS reportedly claiming responsibility for Moscow terrorist attack. ISIS, like goddamn Spartacus over here. I am Spartacus. They're like, you're calling us the bad guys for everything. We might as well just take credit for everything. Yeah, that's right. We did it. Fucking insane. I mean, maybe they did do it, but it just seems like they're always taking credit for everything. Like in that I am Spartacus type moment. What's his face in the Senate? Democrat from New Jersey had his Spartacus moment. Everybody calls him Spartacus. I don't remember what his name is at this exact moment. The Islamic State, ISIS, has claimed responsibility for the Moscow terrorist attack, according to a report by the Amaq news agency, and otherwise unconfirmed. Mario Nafal over here. Breaking. ISIS claims Moscow terrorist attack. Reportedly, the terrorist group ISIS has claimed responsibility for the attack on the Crocus Concert Hall in Moscow that left at least 40 people dead and dozens injured. One member of the band Picnic is missing after the attack. I don't know if we have any updates on this. One member of the Russian band Picnic, whose performance at the Crocus Concert Hall was interrupted by assailants with automatic weapons and Molotov cocktails, is missing. The director of Picnic told local media he has not been able to reach one member of the group. He did not specify which one. At least 40 people are confirmed dead and hundreds are injured. They look like a pretty cool band. I mean, those are some fun threads they've got over there. Yeah, ISIS equals CIA, equals Obama, basically. Even Al-Qaeda was originally a database of terrorists, and bin Laden was a CIA operative, the American name Tim Osman. So this is horrible. It really pisses me off anytime we see innocent civilians being killed, which is why I'm mad about the way that Israel is handling the Hamas situation as well. But let's check out this clip from like a month ago. You guys probably remember this because I think we played it at the time. This is Posobiec predicting that this would happen on the Alex Jones show.
They're going to reorganize and try something new, which is going to be terror campaigns, which is how they started 10 years ago with the Maidan coup. We've come.
And that was the New York Times article that we got last week. The New York Times article talked about the fact that the CIA has been training the nationalist groups in Ukraine with this guy Budanov and others. He's the CIA's man in Ukraine. And you're seeing the videos, by the way. McCain was a huge part of this. Lindsey Graham was a part of this at the time. There were Republicans and Democrats both going in. Everyone was dipping their beaks into Ukraine.
And by the way, slow down, Jack, because we have limited time. We have limited time. You'll be doing your own show that I'll be tuning into, come up in an hour and 15 minutes or so with Human Events. But exactly, I was about to bring up the New York Times article. Oh, we've got 20 secret bases for 10 years, and we're going to leave stay-behind networks there no matter what Russia does. So you called this months ago. They're literally going to Operation Gladio 2.0. So give people a quick refresher on that, and then give me your expert analysis on.
Remember Operation Gladio, where they were doing crazy stuff, the CIA like bombing school buses in Italy and mass murder of civilians. Poso and Jones nailed it. Tomorrow's news today.
While we're getting such mixed signals of total war with Russia, no, we're going to stop the war, now we're just going to money launder and rebuild. It looks to me like they're going to segue into, oh, we want peace, but as you said, then go to the leg of money laundering during the Marshall Plan for Ukraine, steal hundreds of billions more, and then launch, as you said, the terror campaign.
Bam.
Alex, this is very dangerous, and your audience needs, and I know already is, paying very close attention to these international conflicts. The point of Operation Gladio 1.0 and 2.0 will be the same. It's not just about, so number one, it's about conducting provocations in order to try to destabilize a region. I'm talking about false flag attacks. I'm talking about blowing up bridges, which is exactly what we hear the German Luftwaffe talking about, blowing up Russian bridges. Yeah, where have I heard that one before? On that phone call out of Singapore. But we're also talking about attacks that they can blame on the Russians.
While other networks networks lie to you about what's
Yep.
happening now.
So Ukraine has already
InfoWars
come
tells
out
you the truth about what's happening
and said that it's Putin that orchestrated this. Just like they said it was Putin who blew up that dam. Right? Yeah, right. I mean, I'm like one of the first people to say false flag attacks when it makes sense, like Israel with a stand down, or at Uvalde with a stand down, so they can push gun control in the U.S. But it doesn't make sense with Russia because they don't want the conflict. They've been being pushed into it for years and years and years and years and years. Oh, interesting. Where did you try to type that and it wouldn't allow, Alicia? I see that I can see you having said Mossad on my end. Maybe I don't know if it just didn't show up for you or something. Let me see. I got the comment right here. It said right Mama Mac and Mossad. So maybe it's glitching on your end. I don't know. Is that what you're talking about? Did it not show you your own comment on that end or something? Flusterclock 99, I had a message retracted that said that had it as well. Interesting. Let me try to type it. I just typed Mossad into the chat as well, and it worked for me. Who knows though? Yeah, I don't think Rumble is actively censoring. Sheepdog just said it too. Although if they were censoring, we would definitely talk about it and try to get that corrected. So yeah, Jack Posobiec, expert on this area of the globe, this region, calling it spot on a month ago. Remember, Alex Jones predicted the Russian invasion to the month as well. It was like October 2021 or whatever. I can't remember when the invasion actually occurred. Was it in 2022? It's all a blur at this point. But he called it to the month, like to the week. And well, Mac, Mossad, Mossad. You guys are funny. Yeah, hopefully it's just a glitch, Alicia. Nothing nefarious. Look at this meme. This looks good. Just saw this in the comments over here. The bankers want war, so they can lend money at interest to governments on both sides. Defense contractors want war, so they can sell their military products to governments on both sides. Government wants war, so the bankers and corporations keep them employed and in power. Wars are big business. They are manufactured by the elites, not by enemy rivals. And this is something that I talked about way back in the day in one of my political rap songs. I'll play a couple seconds of it for you guys as a little palate refresher, just to show you what I'm talking about here. Bombs and blood, guns and butter, using war as cover to make massive gains off their debt with interest. That's the game. That's what I say here in this Ron Paul song. Ron Paul!
I have never seen so many viewer emails urging us to get a candidate on our air as I have with this particular
Skip ahead.
Ron Paul of Texas. Congressman, you must have some very loyal fans.
Well, that's good. That's what you need in a campaign.
Hello, America. Welcome to the race to help save our freedom and our liberties.
Smash that like button, guys, if you like Ron Paul.
Last chance to rise together as a nation and end the corruption and fascism that grips our country so tight. America,
Ron Paul 2025.
If you had one chance to stop it all,
2028, 2032, and 2036.
I'd vote for Ron Paul to end our reign of violence. Politicians using disguises, abusing our rights and sending our sons and daughters off to die in the land of sand at the man's demand. In a war that we started with the preemptive strike, bombs and blood, guns and butter, using war as cover to make massive gains off our debt with interest. Yeah, that's the game that the central bankers play, but we're taking it back piece by piece. Repeal the Patriot Act, and we won't give these crooks no breaks.
Using war as cover to make massive gains off our debt with interest. That's the game that the central bankers play, just like they say in this meme. The bankers want war so they can lend money at interest to governments on both sides, funding socialism as a means of centralizing control. Neo-feudalistic world government is the goal. They'll fund both sides of conflict to put both countries in debt, and then whoever wins, they install their central bank. They fund socialist revolutions as a means of centralizing control, installing their banks all across the planet. And then if countries don't want to participate, like Russia, like Libya, like Iran, then we see what happens to them. That's right, that old sheepdog. That was when YouTube had a dislike button. That was 13 years before YouTube got rid of the like button. Way back in the day. That was 2008. Thanks, Mandy. Hope you like that little tune. Yeah, fun stuff. Thanks, Mom Mac. I'll make sure to post those links in the show notes. Let's jump into our next story. Thoughts and prayers going out to the innocent Russians, and in the wake of this horrible incident over there. If there's any big updates or anything, let me know in the comments, guys, and we'll cover it as we go. So everybody knows that last week everybody was up in arms about Kate Middleton being MIA. All kinds of weird AI Photoshop posts were being posted on, online, claiming to show her, which proved to not be accurate, using recycled photos. People were speculating that she had been offed or whacked off by the royal family, Princess Diana style. Salty was talking about it a lot. I don't know why Salty cares so much about it, but he was all over it. And but now we have an update, allegedly just in. Kate Middleton reveals she has cancer and is undergoing chemotherapy. So sorry to hear that. She was married into the royal family, right? So I care about her a little bit more than I do about straight up royals, which is zero. Maybe that's mean, but I'm descended from 3%ers who slashed redcoat throats on Christmas night, okay, in 1776. So give me a break. Fuck redcoats. Fuck the crown. Kate Middleton, Princess of Wales, announced on Friday she has cancer and is undergoing chemotherapy. Wishing her the best. It's a horrible experience for anybody to go through. Maybe she should look into alternate forms of medicine, because I think the whole chemotherapy thing may not necessarily be the best solution in every case. There are things like THC, which can have excellent effects. As we know, Harvard did a study using THC, where they implanted human lung cancer tumors on the backs of mice, allowed the tumors to grow on the backs of mice, human lung cancer tumors, and then they attacked the tumors with THC, the active ingredient in marijuana, cannabis, and the THC cut the tumor growth in half, significantly reduced the ability of cancer to spread. You guys may have also heard of Rick Simpson. Rick Simpson being this Canadian gentleman over here who developed the technique of basically extracting essential oils from cannabis and using it to treat cancer for free. They kept arresting him up in Canada for selling drugs, but he was like, I'm not selling anything. I'm just giving this shit away. And he's allegedly, apparently, evidentially, cured thousands of people, of hundreds of types of cancer, which is particularly exciting. The link, Mama Max says the content is no longer available. Just FYI, zoom and enhance to mega zoom. 5,000% zoom. So let's check out this little video about Rick Simpson oil. Maybe this is something that Kate Middleton could look into. What is Rick Simpson oil? Rick Simpson oil, or RSO, is among the earliest examples of modern cannabis concentrates. It's named for inventor Rick Simpson, who developed it for medical purposes in 2003. RSO can be taken on its own or mixed into foods or drinks. Depending on the solvent used, RSO may be dabbable. Consult your bud tender. Different kind of dab, I know. RSO can be found in many dispensaries, and it's possible to make your own at home. Yep, they sell it just like this with little syringes. If you're interested in using RSO for medical purposes, consult your doctor first. From Leafly. Yeah, it's he's used this apparently to literally cure thousands of people from hundreds of types of cancer. Pretty fascinating stuff. So thoughts going out to Kate Middleton. Maybe seek some alternate types of care. Again, not giving medical, legal, or financial advice. But there are alternatives out there. Princess Middleton, which may be looking... Am I using that word right? Is she a princess? Fuck the royals. Who cares? Yeah, check out RSO. All right, let's move on to our next story over at Zero Hedge. Talk about blue blockers, and then bam, got blue blockers all over the ad algorithms. House passes pork-filled bill to fully fund government. Yay. With just hours to go before a shutdown, the House has passed the $1.2 trillion minibus bill, which now heads to the Senate. Look at these fuckers over here. Mike Johnson, you shitbird. Oh, man. I'm sure it's just packed full of all kinds of great stuff. The vote was 286 to 134, with 112 Republicans and 22 Democrats against it. Just let the government shut down, dude. They're not doing anything to help us anyway. All they do is, infringe on our rights. Basically, 90% of what they do is outside the bounds of the limitations of the delegations of power in Article 1, Section 8 of the U.S. Constitution, a negative document which is meant to restrict government. But, Ketanji Brown Jackson says, I think that your interpretation of the First Amendment is the First Amendment is hamstringing the government, preventing them from taking action against disinformation. Yeah, you dumb fucker. That's what it's supposed to do. Let's kill the YouTube feed, metaphorically, of course, before we continue. We've gone long enough on the PooTube platform. Make sure to smash that like button if you guys are watching out there. I appreciate it. Here we go. I'll post the Rumble link in the YouTube and Facebook chats for you guys. And please click it and come on over to Rumble with us. Let's rumble in the jungle. If you can't make it, we understand. We're sorry to have to ditch you, but we got to support alt tech and try to drag people away from CommieTube, even if it means that we only have part of our shows over there. So join us on the dark side, or we will catch you on the flip side. Until then, let's get ready